And we can't ignore markets today. A historic day for Indian markets. Both Sensex and Nifty are at an all-time high. Sensex, as we speak, is trading up by 183 points. It's over 240 points higher. It's trading at 39,240 points. That's how Sensex is trading right now. Nifty is also in green. Both markets at historic high. Remember, yesterday was the day when Sensex closed above 39,000 mark for the first time. But why are they in a positive zone? Well, there are many factors responsible for this. First of all, overall, our expectation of normal monsoon. Second, a stable government could be there. Third, the overall global economy looks poised to grow from here, and trade wars have, in a way, subsided. We are joined by Ashish Andani, our analyst for this morning. Good morning to you, Ashish. Good to have you after a long time. Today is a historic day. What are your thoughts today?
So, as the market is already discounting that the BJP government will be in the power again, and which is almost certain due to the circumstances, the FIIs which were feeling left out, they have now started pouring money into the Indian markets, and especially when there is a news that Fed will not increase the rates, then you cannot find any other opportunity than India. So the Indian story, which was very much active last year, is again in the limelight. And as we see that Bank Nifty, they are trading at all-time highs. So Bank Nifty was the first who made the highs, and then the Nifty followed. So the whole bank resolution, which is helping the PSU banks, is also a positive factor. So all in all, it's a good market. But we also have to see that the market is at a very risky juncture. The Nifty piece is at all-time high, which is at 29, which makes the market a bit expensive. So a word of caution for all the investors and all the viewers which are viewing now, that the market are at a very stressed valuation if we talk about the major stocks. So there has to be a word of caution in the investors, because the election result is still not out. You never know what happens in the election. So the investors should be on the back foot. It's a daily market. You trade daily and you take the profits and get out of the market daily. So it's that kind of market currently going on in the Indian stock markets.
And also, Ashish, all eyes are on tomorrow's RBI policy announcement, a 0.25% rate cut, which has already been taken into account. What are your thoughts over there? Is the rally today in a way contributed by the hopes of a rate cut that can come tomorrow as well?
The whole rally since last 1 week is only because of that 25 bips rate cut, and which is a very much needed rate cut, especially for the NBFCs, because if you remember the last 6 months, it was the worst phase for NBFC. NBFC stocks cracked almost 60 to 90% of their market value as compared to last year. So now NBFC needs that sigh of relief, and that 25 basis point cut will be the much expected sigh of relief. And I also think, when the government is going into the election, so they'll not miss that 25 basis point rate cut. So I think that is more certain on the cards.
Also, Ashish, I would like to ask you, if you say going forward, there are some positive factors, but there would be some challenges also. So what are those challenges?
The deficit, the fiscal deficit, which is almost 135%, is the biggest challenge, I think. Second point would be if there is any uncertain, result of the elections, that will be a major hiccup for the markets. The third point would be the monsoon. The news that the monsoon will not be normal or maybe below the normal. These three factors, I think, in the long term, could be the challenges or could be the factors which can make the market southwards.
Also, Ashish, I would like to ask you, well, markets have seen almost, gaining points every day since the day election dates were announced. Also, certain positive things happen thereafter. But do you think that if the government doesn't come in that majority, or certain other things happen, if non-BJP-led government comes, so do you think there will be a big crash in the markets, or do you think that markets will still maintain a momentum, because now the center stage has been taken by reforms, it's been taken by overall GDP growth? What do you think over there?
In country like India, election is always the biggest concern, biggest factor affecting the markets. If the BJP government does not come, I see a 15-20% drop immediate after the election results, and which has happened in the past also, which is not new. And another point, when the market is at the highest level, it's highly expensive. So the chances of going the market upwards is less as compared to the markets correcting. So there would be a huge correction if the BJP government is not in the major, coalition, if the BJP coalition is not in the majority. So this is the biggest risk which the market is taking now.
And what if it comes, you think 40,000 and 50,000 mark, Sensex touching will not be too far? And if yes, what is the timeline in which Sensex can touch 40,000 and 50,000 mark?
40-50,000 timeline, giving the timeline of 40-50,000 would be a bit difficult, because when the election results are favorable, you can have 2 to 5% much more gain, because that news is already factored in. So then the center stage would be taken by other economic, the geography related factor, the monsoon related factor, how the employment is going on, how the policies, and the major point the government has to do is to contain the fiscal deficit, which is at the highest since last many years. So if the BJP government is there, we will not be seeing a huge jump, as one way move towards 30-40,000, 40-50,000 in the Sensex. There would be a gain, but yes, it will take a pause, it will take a consolidation, and then it will move definitely toward the 40-50,000 mark on the Sensex.
And help us understand, Ashish, since the BJP-led NDA government has come to power in 2014, how has the markets progressed? And we also read yesterday somewhere that the best place to invest markets is still now. But tell us first about the journey of Sensex and Nifty from 2014 to now, today, April 2019.
If we see from 2014 to 2019, the best 7-8 years of the markets were the last 7-8 years when we have seen not only the large cap but the mid caps gain. There are many mid cap stories which have emerged in this era. Maybe if we talk about Indiabulls Housing Finance, Bajaj Finance, maybe the major breakout which the Reliance Industries, Reliance Industries were trading in a range since last 9 years. But with the launch of Jio, and especially in this government, the Reliance Industries has given its major 7-8 year, 9 year breakout. So these are substantial enough, things to understand that when the BJP government came, the transparency was the key word. Transparency in the governance, in the ministries was the best USP of this government. If I want to, rank this government, I would rank transparency as the number one strength of this particular government, and that will be the strength of this government going forward if this government gets elected. So markets have gained huge in terms of if we talk about Nifty Sensex, so almost 25-30% returns in these indices. Bank Nifty almost 40-50% return in this particular time, and mid caps have risen from 200 to 600 to 1000% even. Some mid caps have risen. So that this is a phenomenal year for the investors which have invested for a long time in the stock markets.
And also, Ashish, what about the investors who want to invest now? Because the people who had made good money, they have made their money. Is it still a good time to enter markets? What's your assessment over there?
If you are a very long-term investor, I think you should not put all your money in the markets as of now. Invest 15-20% of the amount in the markets. If there is an unfavorable or maybe a slight uncertain result, then the market would correct. Then invest more 25% and invest in a staggered movement if you are an investor. Because at this point of time, the stocks are not cheap. If you talk about any financial sector stock, they are not cheap enough to enter and make good value. So if you really want to time the market and if you have not invested, I think you should not invest 100% of your money and invest in a staggered movement. Maybe 25% you can invest now, 25% when another correction is there, another 25% when there are corrections. So if you are a long-term investor, this is the best strategy to invest.
1-2 more questions before I let you go, Ashish. Auto sector is one sector which is always on the radar of customers and investors. Second is the old economy stocks, certain blue chip stocks. What's your take on investing? Is it good time to invest in blue chip stocks? And what about sectors like pharma, auto, and these sectors?
Pharma is again a very good sector still to invest because the valuation there is very good. Talking about the auto stocks, the two-wheeler, some of the two-wheeler and four-wheeler companies are seeing some pain because of the slowdown in the demand in the recent quarters. So I think that slowdown will be there for some time, because if the monsoons are not good, the two-wheeler stocks would not perform good. And when we talk about the four-wheeler stocks, the launch of electric vehicles or the policy which has come into effect from 1st of April towards the giving huge subsidy on the electric vehicles, that is a major challenge which these companies are facing. I think that challenge would be there for some time, but yes, stocks like Hero Honda, Maruti, M&M, these are quality stocks, blue chip stocks. These are stocks to be kept for 15, 20, 30 years. So if you get some correction in these stocks, these are still very, very good companies to invest in. Some conventional, some old economy stocks like, maybe if you talk about Reliance, ITC, Hindustan Unilever, they are always very good stocks, but if you talk about some FMCG, the valuation of FMCG is the highest in the history for the FMCG stock. So I think there should be some correction in this particular stock. Talking about the PSU banks, that is the sector which I think will be the promising sector if the BJP government comes in. We have started seeing some recovery, maybe of PNB, SPI,
Right.
huge recovery on the power sector. So these stocks are good, going forward.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Andani, for talking to us and getting us all these details. We must tell our viewers, Sensex and Nifty both have touched record highs today. A big day for Indian markets and economy as well.